Yes, people, I'm Stevo the Madman, and this is The Green Room. This is where we get people from different industries, whether it be sport, music, or film, and we speak to them about time away from the film, away from their industry. Today, I am joined by three men who have shot adrenaline into the British movie scene. I'm joined by Blackwood.
Hello, everyone. I'm Blackwood.
Dexter Fletcher.
All right, Stevo the Madman.
Yes, mate. And Jason Flemyng.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Flemyng.
Hello, Dexter.
Hello, Vass.
Hello, Jay.
Hello, Vass.
Hello, boys.
Stevo.
Is there an echo in here? Yes, it's legal and regulated.
But is it prescribed?
No, Timothy, it's legal and regulated, but you've got to bite off the back of a lorry. Of course it's prescribed, you muppet. Doctor's prescription, pharmacy, not hippie Sid's herbal hustle.
Now, how is old Sid?
Not the point, Timothy. It's medicine. 100% card carrying, bet the farm, legit. Checkmate, mate.
That's really good.
Oh, blimey. Well, I didn't see that coming.
It's not exactly been advertised. Till now.
If you've got questions
Do you know
about
what?
alternative
It's
healthcare,
really-
visit mamedica.co.uk.
It's a great character breaker, isn't he? It's a great character breaker.
But you know what's amazing about it is the guy who shot it and the guy who directed it has taken the whole flavour
Yeah,
of what
the
it should
lighting,
be.
the setup,
You know, the
stuff.
light, the
Yeah.
setup, the dialogue is very, very Ritchie-esque, isn't it?
Yeah, but the great thing about Guy's work is it's so visually recognisable, isn't it? And
Yeah.
he's got such a signature stamp on it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can sort of emulate it and
Yeah,
play it and add that bit of music. You've got the right
The
characters.
music is
Yeah,
perfect. And obviously, to see Rory Baker again is such a
What a
treat.
character.
I did think whenever Lock, Stock was mentioned, I said, just forget that. Completely forget it.
Yeah.
Don't even think about, I mean, what Guy's done. It's incredible in the sense that, just forget it in the sense of
Right.
just keep it generic and keep it moving in that
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
So as far as the acting's concerned and
yeah.
what they were looking for in the dialogue as well.
But, but what I'm
yeah.
saying is what it's done is it's echoed that style visually, and also obviously to see Rory Baker is like, I mean, to see Rory Baker again in
Yeah,
a
you
different...
want that familiarity, didn't you?
Yeah.
You want people to go, oh, I love him, I love
he's
that.
great,
It's,
he's
what's he
great.
talking
Was
about?
the music in the background, the music underneath, was that from Lock, Stock?
No,
'Cause
but
it
it's-
sounds...
No.
But
No,
you could,
no.
you
It's
could
got
go
a
on
little-
AI and go,
Yeah,
can you
make
play
it,
music
yeah.
that's like the music from Lock, Stock and I mean, I guess that's what they did, and it's brilliant. I just think that is smart because that's, you live and die on the script, as with all of our creative stuff, right? And I think the script, whoever wrote that, has done brilliantly.
Did you write it? No?
I had involvement,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I never. They brought a structure, and then we worked from there, and then
Yeah.
I kind of gave my input
Yeah.
because I didn't want certain things. There was one version that came. I think because you and I were talking a little bit about it,
we were.
Jay, and there was one version that came, and it was just. I said, no, it's just no. They hit a spot. I said that's brilliant, and then they said what they're going to do is re-edit it a bit and just change it up a little bit, and I said okay, let's see how that comes, and it came in, and it was just it had gone too far into Lock, Stock.
Yeah, too far
Or
Ritchie-esque.
too far into
Ritchie-esque.
And I said it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Because this is like you see the man again with the afro. That's him.
Yeah.
Just go with whatever you want, which is all MAMEDICA really. So that was the fun bit.
Andrew is the guy that made Andrew Tyler, who wrote that.
Yeah, he did really well.
Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, he worked hard.
But
He
it's moved
studied-
on, you know what I mean? It's like it's took the locks up, but he's moved it on.
Yeah,
because it is 20, 30 years
Well, it's
later.
an art shoot.
Sorry, Steve. Oh, hello, Steve.
No, we're here. Amazing. Good to have you here, boys. You talk about Guy Ritchie and the writing. Does he make you stick to the script? Because he seems like it's very specific, his writing and the script. Does he want you to stick to it or not?
He won't let you lazily change it, right? So say like when we do loads of films, we, Vass, me and Dex, and they're films that are not necessarily written so well, you have to try and adapt it to make it work, right? That's not the case with Guy. Guy will let you change it if you have a discussion with him, but if you just make a mistake because you haven't learned it properly, he'll cut and say, I'm not having that, do it again. And in fact, at one point I had a speech, the postal, I can't say fan club, it was called.
Oh, that's right.
And before
what a
that,
scene.
he went, right, let's have a bet, see if Flemyng can get through this without making any mistakes. And people were going, I'll have a tenner, says he messes it up. I'll have a fun night. Are you serious? This is your film. And he goes, yeah, everyone have a bet because Fleming's going to mess it up because he won't get the words right. And that's what he did. And if you get the word wrong, or if you put in an or an R or a...
That's what it is, it's so
he'll
clear.
cut and say, that's not what I wrote.
Yeah, there is a thing about rhythm. What he does, he writes, he has rhythm. And if you
That's
do
what it
start
is, that's
throwing
what-
in ums and wells and the thing is and looks, you know, people do that a lot. They go, look, la da 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 da, and you don't need.
I didn't
all
write
that
look, Flemyng, so don't
I didn't
say
write
look.
that. But then again, when I did my speech, there's a speech where I go guns for show, knives for pro. So on the original speech, that wasn't there in the script from what I remember. And we did it on the day, we did it once, and went, come here, Fletcher. He goes, I was thinking about it last night, and he goes, you should say this line at the end of it, which is guns for show, knives for a pro. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good line. He goes, yeah, just say that at the end. So that line, he's always thinking, he's always mulling it over. I mean, I haven't worked with him since, I know you have, but I think now that he's always throwing stuff out at people.
There was someone on the one
he
show.
has a good rhythm. He's
There was
so
someone on the
good at
one show
rhythm.
yesterday, and they were talking about working with Guy, some famous actress, I can't remember. The one who nearly married Joe Wright.
Oh, Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, Rosamund Pike. Okay. And she was on it, and she said, you know, you come.
married him.
She goes, you come into set, and you know, I'm glad I didn't do it at the beginning of my career because you're going to set, and he just gives you the speech to do there and then, and you just got to do it and trust him, and that's exactly how he is. You know,
Baz, Rory Breaker, some of the lines on that, like the milk turns out to be sour. Like, is this all? Is there any lines that you put in yourself or anything like that?
The only lines I ever put in was the Greek lines.
Okay.
He never had, it wasn't him. And I said to him, Guy, I grew up with a lot of Greeks in Kentish Town, you know, Cypriots, got a lot of Cypriot friends. I know a few Cypriot bad words, and this guy's
so
really
good.
upset me. So can I say a few words? And he said, yeah, all right, yeah, do it that way and do it my way on the script, and then I'll make up my mind in the edit.
yeah.
And he made up his mind. He stuck with the...
But I knew when I watched it, I knew it because I knew you back from
go with
ages
it.
ago. I knew, I was like, that's Vass, that's all Vass.
Go
You
with
know,
it,
all
it's
that,
just
all that, that's just the one that's and all that.
By the way, Joe, I would like to say the idea that you said that we can't say now because of times have moved on. If it wasn't 4 weeks, I think it was 4 to 6 weeks, it would have landed.
Yes.
It would have been a good idea.
The postal scam.
Yes.
We'll call it the postal scam.
What's that? Oh, yeah. It was
The beep, 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 club.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Boys, Lockstock. We're here to talk about Lockstock. Celebrate it, really. First of all, I want to go back to the start. Like, when you lot first got on set, how was it? Anything I don't know? Anything like...
I mean, the thing about Lockstock is it has got a long history. Even before we started filming it, there was like this whole build-up to it as well, because I had to get together and raise the money. And so there was the casting of it and raising of the money of it and all these different people coming together to make it happen. I remember us all going to play a football match with some very rich investor in some very big flash house out in the middle of the countryside. Were you at that football match? It was really weird. And there was, I don't think you were there either. But there was like Nick Moran, I think Statham was there, and I don't play football even, and I was there. But anyway, they were trying to get this
Any way possible to get the money
It's
raised.
what you do. It's what happens.
It was for that film particularly because it's an independent, low budget film, and
it collapsed, Dexter, didn't it, for 6 months. We were all
Yeah,
cast, ready
yeah,
to go,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
6 months. It went down for 6 months, and then we all got, you know, and
But you should ask him his story about how he got cast, which is I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. When you went in, you said you did a really good audition. They went, come back, and
But what happened with that?
Well, what happened was because Guy really loves authenticity, right? So he can spot. He knows who's real and who's not, and that's why, you know, in a lot of his films there are, you know, Lenny McLean, but there's also a load of other faces that are real gangsters, real faces, and he loves that, And when I went up for my audition, it was with Celestia Fox, who's a casting director, quite a posh casting director, lives in Clapham, blah, blah, blah. And we went in and I sort of managed to blag that I was a bit of a South London boy. Yeah. But it was tenuous. And he kept looking at me going, what, is he for real or is he not? And I was going, yeah, well, okay, so how he's doing, yeah. A bit busy with mum. What are you doing? I'm this and that, you know, I don't want to talk about it. And he thought, you know, I'd also done a film about a gay ballerina about 6 months before. So all he had to do is look at there wasn't IMDb then, but I thought if he digs deep, he's going to find out that I'm a complete fraud. So when he cast me, and then he started doing these things like the football games for 6 months, he'd be like, we should all get together, Jay. We'll have a little chat about, this and that. And I'm like, I'm a bit busy at the moment. Because I knew if I had a beer and sat with him, I'd start crying about, Ice Age 3, or I'd tell him about my sort of penchant for the ballet, and he'd spot me a mile off. So anyway, so I kind of kept a low profile and avoided him. And he's like, why are you not coming out with us, Flem? And I'm like, well, I'm a bit busy at the moment. I'm doing a bit of this, bit of that, but I'm keeping out of trouble. Anyway.
Jason's got all the tricks.
Is that what it's like? If you're at a football, I used to play football. If you're with a football team and one of the players don't come out and you're trying to do a bond, they take that really offensive. Is that the same with movies? With the cast?
Well, you don't usually get that hiatus before we start. So once you're in, and you've done the read-through and then you start shooting, everyone's all together and it's great.
Yeah, you're kind of committed then. It depends. I mean, different directors do it different ways. But I mean, it's always good to, get an ensemble going.
Yeah.
But he was trying to make sure he got the job. That's why.
Yeah.
He thought, I'm going to get found out. I'm not going to go back.
I'm not going to go back. I've done it once.
And then they just offered him the job. Yeah.
What do you remember from the first day you got on set, Vaz?
Well, just getting down. Oh, yeah, actually.
What was your first day, Vas?
We did some sort of a rehearsal or something, and we weren't actually filming on that day, but Guy was around, and all of the guys that play my security turned up, and I looked at them all, and they all had bald heads, and I had a bald head. I said to Guy, I got a message to Guy. I said, Guy, would it be possible for me to wear a wig? And he said,
wig?
He said, why? And I said, well, look, they're all bald. I'm bald. It's not going to give it the energy. I want to wear a wig. He said, well, let me have a think about it. And then that was it. He had to think. I went away. He went away. And then I came for the first day, came into makeup, and they had a wig.
She was incredible, wasn't she? She came out with that wig. I mean, it was inspired.
Yeah, she had the wig. And it was like, and so, I didn't even go and see Guy because we had talked about it,
You just walked on set like that. That's Guy.
Yeah, he said, wear the wig. Let me think about it. Boom, and that was it.
But what scene was
it? Yeah, what scene was it that you filmed it first? Do you remember?
Yeah, with Nick. With all the stuff.
Nick?
All the stuff with Nick.
Ah, right, in the office.
Dexter, Dexter, Jason, one thing, people ask me about the film, and everything, and I say, well, all I know is that from the first day I met Guy, I just got this impression. He's serious. There's something about this film. The script was very much, it was like moments. And we were talking earlier on about script writers and directors. And if a director writes a script, I was going to ask you something about this, Dex, actually. What you find, because I write myself, and what you find is that you see it in your mind. And I say it to my son, who's he's in 19, he's doing acting and things, and I say that what you should remember is that you should try and stick to the script, because someone sat at home, don't even know what time they were typing this, but they've written it, they've typed this for a reason, because it's flowing. And that's why Guy kind of works it out in the edit. It's all there, it happens, but you have to pay that script is your Bible. So you have to pay it some form of respect. And then from there, you can elevate yourself. And that's when they say you can come off the page a bit. You like plasticine. As an actor, because that script so well inside that. So if the director did say, why don't you try this from that? You're trying it from that. And as Jace was rightfully saying, is that it's very difficult to just try and wing it, because if you wing it, it's going away from what this person wrote. He wrote that for a reason. When I was learning that work, I was serious, really serious. And I said to myself, there's no way. Something was telling me, and I never worked with the guy before, the man before. I said, there's no way I'm going to mess with this. I'm just going to deal with it, because he's commanding. He's very commanding. Just keep doing it. I don't know what was telling me to do this. So when I turned up, I didn't even see him. Couldn't even, because he was just hidden away somewhere behind the monitor. And we just, boom, rolled. And that was it. And I was on point. And every time, after each take, I couldn't see him because of the way it was all set up in the office, and it's very much, we did it in a warehouse. They just changed it all up, and I couldn't see him, and I just wondered, cut, change, and then we just go on to it, and I was endlessly saying to the AD, was that all right?
Is that what you do? You look for the director's approval?
Well, I was just wondering. I couldn't see him, but I was saying,
ideal world.
Yeah, I was saying, where is he? I said, no. I was like, was that all right? Was that okay? And I could never hear anything back. And I remember shouting, was that all right then, Guy? He was wherever he was going, yeah. It's brilliant. Don't worry about it. It's good. Just keep doing your thing. Keep doing it.
I suppose I've worked for like 10 great writers, you know, over 180 movies. 10 of them have been writers that I go, he's the artist, I serve him. And Guy is definitely one of them. You know what I mean? Where you go, if you make a mistake, it's because you've forgotten, not because you're trying to improve what he's done. And I think with those, it's like Shakespeare. You don't muck around with Shakespeare or Alan Bennett because it's that you respect the writing so much. The same with Guy Ritchie. A lot of the films we've done in the past, you're like, this is sort of dog shit, so I've got to try and make this work. And they go, yeah, do what you want with it. Make it natural. Make it sound like it comes from your mouth. You're like, well, why don't you write something properly so I don't have to do that? But the truth is, that's the case, isn't it? When you respect the writer, you serve the writer.
And also you've got that foundation that all the other things that go towards making that show happen come from, in that the people who are financing it, the producers who are reading it, the stations who are going to broadcast it, the platforms that are going to get involved in it, they've got something tangible in their hand that came from that person,
the script,
that they can go, right, okay, so and this is so and so, and then you come on as the creative, as the artist, as the contributor, and then that starts to come to life, which is a different thing from it just being that piece of paper. But that piece of paper is just to get us into the room, to get us into the situation where those cameras are rolling, the studio's there, the audience, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it plays that key fundamental role that person goes, yeah, I did that. And then there's all these other, and it's just about establishing those things.
And historically, I think with all of us who've worked a lot on films, when an actor changes stuff, it's generally because he hasn't learnt it. You know, and he'll pretend, he'll go, no, I think it's better we do this. And he'll have all these rewrites and all that stuff. And you go, bruv, truth is, you should have spent a couple of hours on this last night, but you didn't, did you? And now we're here, you're sweating, everyone's a bit confused about what's happening. And it's because they haven't put the work in.
Lock, Stock. When did you know that you lot was onto something then?
When I first saw it.
Yeah?
With the script?
What,
the script?
No. Do you mean after we made it?
Well, even during,
when did you first go on?
Yeah, well,
you were convinced from the beginning.
I knew I took myself seriously, right? And from what I was hearing, I knew that they were taking themselves seriously because I kind of know I grew up with Dexter and I knew of Jason and I knew what was going on, you know, and you was hearing people were coming back and letting you know things and you was hearing whispers and there was just some energy going on and I was thinking, I'm not going to turn up, right, like 85. I'm turning up 110 because I was hearing things, right? Yeah. And you know, and I think, and that is so nice for a director, writer-director, because we all turned up for him.
This sounds like, but the thing is, it's a funny film. It's a profoundly funny, well-observed film about the characters are well-observed. It's funny, but everyone is playing their part absolutely seriously.
Incredible. Every single character.
No one's playing for comedy. No one's playing for comedy.
No comedy.
There's no one doing anything
I didn't even
broad.
know it was funny. I was trying to be the geezer. I was trying to be the geezer that I turned up to see Guy Ritchie. I was so, you know, definitely trying to be like this proper chap from South London.
I don't think we did know it was funny.
No, not as funny as it was.
But to play for
that's why Breaker's so funny though.
Yeah.
He's so earnest, he's so serious.
Yeah. You know, and
he's a nutter,
it's like when people, you know, the guy comes out at a pub on fire. Remember we were shot down in Columbia Road that night, and there's just the bit where we open the door and the geezer runs out, and we went, no one reacts.
Yeah.
No one reacted.
No one did a double take.
No one did
a
We just
silly
open the door, the geezer runs out of flames, and we just go in, and that's why it's funny because it's just like, that's every day down the pub.
But that's real life.
Yeah.
The thing is that the success of that film was because it attracted an audience of people who don't usually go to the cinema, right? And that's what's been amazing about it for all of us over the years of like the amount of times I've got out of trouble where I thought I'm going to get a kick in here and someone goes, excuse me, are you Fat Tom? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Fat Tom. And they're like, geezer, oh my God. And they're all giving you a cuddle and you're about to get...
South Africa.
Yeah,
in a bar
when you think you're about to get stabbed, you then get Fat Tom.
I was in a bar in Johannesburg and this geezer was looking through the crowd like this. And I was like, oh no, this is not good. And he was like, you. And he came through the crowd and he went, you in Lock, Stock like this. And the place went wild, man. Yeah. It was just, it was like incredible.
Classic, man.
I was driving around Wandsworth Roundabout. I was driving down towards Wandsworth Roundabout and this black, I'm such an idiot, black BMW cuts up this geezer on a bicycle and I'm in like, you know, a Vauxhall Astra, do you know what I mean? Anyway, he cuts this geezer up and the geezer falls off the bike And I'm incensed. And I go, "You right, mate?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think so. I go, "You idiot." And I go, bang, in my Vauxhall Astra, zoom after this black Mercedes, right? Get to Wandsworth Roundabout, pull in front of the black Mercedes and get out and go, "You just knocked someone off the bike." And then the doors of the car open slowly and these lumps get out. And I was at the front of the car and I actually had to hold the bonnet of the car because my knees went, right? I just went, "Oh my God." And these 4 geezers walked towards me. I think, this is it. I'm going to die. And then the one at the back goes, "Hey, ain't she Fat Tom?" And I go, yeah, I am Fat Tom. And he goes, I said, "You just nearly killed someone." And he goes, "Sorry, mate, I didn't realise I did that." He goes, "Don't worry, I think it's okay." And they all give me a cuddle and they drive off. And I couldn't drive for 10 minutes. I was so scared. But it happens.
He can go buy a pint of milk and something will happen to him.
Amazing.
But it's so true, right? And in the prisons, we were saying about in the prisons, that, all the social workers are like, it's taken me 5 years to get these people to open up. But I walk in there and they're just like,
It's his best
"Hey,
audience."
It's the geezer out of it's Fat Tom out of Lockstock, and that's it. You're in the kitchen, they're teaching you how to make, beef Wellington with a toaster.
Fletch, you a director now.
Yeah.
Is there anything from Lockstock that you've taken into your directing now? Would you say?
I suppose so. Whether it's subconscious or not, I don't know. I mean, that's the good thing about when you've been around as long as we all have. You've come across like really, really brilliant people like Guy Ritchie or Mike Lee or, the various directors I've worked with and we've all worked with. And then there's a whole bunch of people that we work with that are not so good. And it's funny enough, what I've kind of learned is that you learn what you've absorbed from the good people by watching the bad people and going, "All right, I don't want to do that." There's you have some sort of like internal kind of voice that kind of just keeps you straight. But what Guy does is he's extremely serious, but he's absolutely positive about what he wants. He's very clear about what he wants. That was always the way. That
Preparation.
It's that preparation he does, but he's got it in his head. And if it fits in line with that, then that's good. And if it's not, he'll be like, "Why are you doing that? Why are you moving your eyebrow?" And you go, "Well, I just," where he goes, "Yeah, well, don't do that." And it seems like such a small detail, but it obviously fits into the whole vision of what he's got.
Within that, very quickly, the guy's got this incredible confidence and self-belief, right? Which means when Vass walks on set, right, in his feature film that he spent years trying to get together with that wig on, he goes, "Yeah, no, I like that." Most directors would go, "Oh shit, I'm not sure. He just
have a
goes,
chat
"No,
about it.
I like that. It's funny. Let's keep it."
Yeah.
And Guy's got this amazing strength that he sees. It doesn't matter whose idea it is. If it's better than his,
If it fits
no
in,
ego. He'll take it, and Vass, and I think Vass is a great example. Faye Hammond was the
Makeup.
makeup and
Faye
wig
Hammond.
maker.
This movie gave a lot of people their first start. One of them we spoke about earlier, Vinnie Jones, you mentioned. What was Vinnie like?
Oh, he's a force of nature. He's exactly the same now as he was then. He's just a force of nature, kind, funny.
Yeah, he's not changed.
He is
In the best possible
charisma.
way, yeah.
Like when he walks in the room, he walks in the room.
And also when Vinnie walked onto that set, it was Vinnie at the end of this incredible football career, wasn't it? And the start of a new thing.
Yeah, it was.
And he was like, I wouldn't say he was at his height, because that would sort of suggest that there's been some sort of a turning point, right? Exactly. And he came on with this kind of confidence and swagger, and kind of like, when you do your first job as an actor and you come out of that background, there's a real benefit and confidence in not knowing where it can go wrong or how hard it can be. There's kind of ignorance is bliss almost in a way. And he come and go, "Vinnie, the cameraman's going to be down in the footwell like that with a camera." And Guy said to him, "Just scare the shit out of him. Scare the shit out of the cameraman." I remember hearing him say, and Vinnie went, "Oh yeah, right. And he got the door and he went, "You." And we all stood in Brick Lane going, "Oh my God, this guy." And he'd just come from being nicked the night before. Because he was like, he'd been nicked the night before because he'd beaten up his neighbour or something. They put you in a paper suit and all that. And he came on set and he was full of like piss and vinegar, and he was like, and it was like, oh shit,
There's something
Vinnie's here, and
beautiful.
he came and it was really good.
There's something beautiful and also something not so beautiful about the ignorance at the start of a career when you find out, because you learn. In my game, you learn you could be cancelled. At the start, I didn't give a shit about being cancelled.
Okay.
I'm saying all the stuff like
You wanted to say,
that I wanted to say, right? Then you learn later on, you start working with brands, you start even start caring, to be honest with you. Start caring about people's feelings and whatnot.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I miss the olden days though, man. When I didn't know, I do. I miss it.
Yeah,
Especially,
but you can
for
get
comedy.
back to that. No, you're right, but it's just like what happens is there's stakes in it for you personally.
Yeah.
So you start going, oh, I've got to protect this thing, and then after years and years, you go, oh, actually, it's all right. Nothing changes.
I'm back to that.
You
I
do.
am back to that. Yeah.
You get
Back to basics,
there.
I call
You
it,
do.
yeah.
I think you do. I think
That's true, Dex.
you sort of come round because you stop. You realise the things that you're trying to protect are all right, and that's the same with Vinnie. I think when he first came in, he had that initial bravado and confidence is the best thing on screen. That's what you want to see.
What he had,
and experience gives you that again. You know?
Experience gives you that, but what Vinnie had, which was really interesting, and it's the same, I guess the same with Statham to a degree. They arrived,
absolutely.
Right? Yeah. We've been actors all our lives, right? So we got to this place where we thought this was a great opportunity, and that opportunity comes with its own fears, and it comes with its own trepidation, and our own commitment to making the best of this situation. They came to it going, "What's all this about? Then I'll have a go. This is all a bit of fun. No fear, no nothing." And Statham was a confident.
I mean, that must be like when you started. You were like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that. Sounds like a crack. I'll have to give that a go."
And I think sorry, just to say with Statham, it was the same thing. It was like he walked on set and he knew that he quite fancied being an actor, but it wasn't the be all and end all. He had $3,000 in his pocket. We weren't even earning that. You know what I mean? He was making money hand over fist. He'd never been skinned. He knew what he was doing. He had his van and he was away. and then he turned up and he was like, we were doing that. See, I know he won't mind me saying this because I've said it to him in front of him, but we were doing this scene where all the boys were together, and it was the one when I think Nick blows smoke through the shotguns and stuff. And Jay went, "Here, Flem." And I went, "What?" He goes, "What are you going to do with your hands in this scene?" And I went, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, I just want to know what you're going to do with your hands." And I said, "Well, I'm going to put them in my pocket, Jay." And he went, "Oh, damn, I was going to do that." And I went, "Okay, well, you do that and I'll think of something else. Thanks very much, Jay. Appreciate it, mate." And now look at him. Do you know what I mean?
Mate,
and that was just him starting off. And, everything he does, he didn't,
Now he does every scene with his hands.
I was just going to say that.
I like this from Flemyng.
But what I mean is that's where he was. I mean, now, Jesus Christ,
he's doing his thing,
he's on 15 mil a film, and he knows
Is he doing all right?
He's doing all right. Yeah, he's done
All he
all
does is
right.
puts his hands in his pocket.
But what I mean is, that's just the way it was.
I don't know. I've never spoken to you about it, Vass, but do you remember when the DVD came out of Lock Stock that me and you went on the tour?
Yeah,
with the DVD.
me and you. Yeah, we had a good time.
I think we maybe went to a few towns, a few cities, but we definitely went Liverpool.
Spice Girls.
Yeah. We went Liverpool. And it was this nutty thing that around all the bars and clubs in Liverpool, they put like beer mats with a barcode on it. And me and you and some PR girl went around with like a sack of DVDs and like Lock Stock goodies and a barcode gun.
Yeah.
And people are beating the boozer, and you go, "You got a beer mat, mate?" And they go, "Yeah, go from Lock Stock." You go, "Beep, it's Rory Baker," and we'd scan the barcode,
night.
and
That
we'd give
was
them
great,
a gift, whatever
yeah.
it was,
Oh.
and all through Liverpool. And I'd never been to Liverpool before, and it was kicking off in Liverpool. It's like a Thursday night in Liverpool. It was madness up there. It was like the women were crazy, the guys were all smashed. It was like. And
Like New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it was just, and they're all wearing next to nothing. It was the middle of January or something. And then we go back to the hotel and the Spice Girls are having a party there.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, man.
And it was like Mel C's mum's birthday or something like that. It was
Oh
in-
my God. At the poshest hotel in Liverpool. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
because they put us in it, and we were in it, and there was 3 or 4 of them
Gold
there.
card Jimmy. Gold card Jimmy, her husband.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah,
right.
I remember there. Her husband.
I remember, so we were there, and they all came out, and me and you were there, and we were
All
like,
over us,
so we come,
weren't they?
yeah, they were like, come in the party. So we went in that party, and then we went out to a bar
With
afterwards.
them, went out to a club.
So by
with
now
them.
the movie's been out, so now people know who you are.
Yeah.
Because we were doing the publicity for the DVD.
DVD must have been 4 months later or whatever.
Okay.
And Mel and I have stayed friends, since all
Oh,
of
you
that.
have?
Yeah.
She went out with Dan Cadan, do you remember?
Did she?
Yeah, Mel went out with Dan Cadan.
Danky Dan.
Dan Cadan.
Thank you, Dan.
He's just a face from the old
But
days.
do you remember that night? We ended up in some bar, and all the security around us, and we were like dancing in this.
Yeah. Emma Bunting was there.
That's right,
all of them. All of them, yeah.
They were all there.
Yeah.
Party with the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I remember.
It was quite unusual. It was quite surreal, I thought,
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
was at the height of their fame as well.
Yeah.
They were massive. And we were like, what the hell are we doing here?
It was a good part, you know?
You were like, just go with it, mate. Just go with it.
Yeah.
I remember being in Cannes, and it was like one of those.
Oh, he was in the film.
It was the 50th anniversary of BAFTA or something, and they decided to take a load of actors, right? And there were 50 actors, and John Hannah couldn't go, and I fitted in his suit, so I went, and there was like, so I think there was like 20 of us actually, and there was 10 boys, 10 girls, and we were doing all the publicity, and they would all be going, Kate, Johnny, no one's shouting Jason, no one's doing that, and I'm stood there in this really posh suit, just going, oh mate, I feel like such a mug, and then the Spice Girls bus came past, right, with all the girls on the top. And I was in Spice Girls, the movie, and they're like, Jason, aye. They're waving at me, and all the actors look round, and they're like, do you know the Spice Girls? And I was like, yeah, I know them quite well, yeah. And they rescued me from the shame of no one knowing who I was.
They were good girls.
So what? You're sat at home, feet up on the chaise longue, enjoying a little bit of the old herbal delight.
Don't be thick.
I'm just saying, as your solicitor, same plant, same legal headache.
Same as this pool cue's the same as a rolling pin. Both long, round, and made of wood. Only you don't see anyone in there making pastry.
So it's different.
It's a conversation. You tell the doc how you're feeling, then they bring the know-how.
That's new.
That's medicine.
Yeah, it still feels a bit sus. And as your solicitor...
This ain't Frankie Greenfingers's lockup.
How is old Frankie?
Not the point, Timothy. I'm talking real doctors. Vapes, oils, flour. Prescribed methods. None of that recreational behaviour.
Blimey.
It's quick, specialist, and clean. Just like my pool game.
Well, that is quite a game changer.
If you've got questions about alternative healthcare, visit marmedica.co.uk. Safe, legal care you can trust.
Vass has got involved with a medical company that help people who have ailments.
And all different things, yeah.
Yeah.
You jumping in?
Yeah, I just thought I'd jump in. That's quite good, isn't it?
We watched it earlier, so Vass, we watched the ad, or we watched 2 of the ads. There's 4 in total, right?
Yeah, 4.
How did that come about?
Well, how can I say? So basically, right, I've always been an advocate for cannabis. Coming from a Jamaican background, I was getting people used to tap me and say, the cannabis business and Rory Breaker and all of this, that, and the other. And I just used, yeah, and just keep it moving. I've always been on a natural high for many years, and people used to think people think I go to parties and people think, are you out of your head or something? And I'm not touched anything. I've just got a vivid imagination. I can get into people and talk and
always been
have
that.
fun. Yeah.
Always.
Now here we are. I thought, well, the only way, if I'm going to do this, right, I'm going to have to get validation. I'm going to have to talk to Guy, and just put it out there and just
How was he about that?
Standard. In actual fact, he said to me, right, yeah, he'll give me his blessing, and which is really nice. Thanks for asking him first, because a lot of people go about doing their thing and they ain't got no respect for the big man. So I then started to take myself seriously when I got the validation from him.
And I have to say, this ain't about just getting high as a kite. It's about treatment, right?
Yeah. Look, listen, this is the thing now. So I've gone I've been researching and just reading some really good books, and I will do this because for myself, And what a lot of people don't seem to understand is that this plant was there from day one. And now, on a dispensary level, there is the THC. But you have to be prescribed it. And that word prescribed is a beautiful word. So it's like a prescription. So when you're prescribed it, now you're focusing if it's whatever the ailment, right? And the funny thing is that I used to suffer from the anxiety and, and like get all, worried and cotton mouth, all of that business. But what I started to learn was that you had to work yourself out and you had to get the right strain and in relation to THC, in relation to CBD, the percentages correct.
So this is the best thing about the medical for me. What you learn is speaking to a doctor, one of these professionals, the limits.
Yeah, so I believe in medical cannabis, right, for medical purposes. And that's why I want to enhance the brand Rory Breaker with cannabis, and and because I believe most definitely in medical cannabis on a prescribed level. And you've got to rate these companies right now. And I'd also as well, I'd rate the government as well, because, you know, they're starting to wake up to it. Yeah, if you've got a taxi, you've got a taxi. And the taxes go to other things, like, for instance, youth clubs, film projects, this, that and the other, you know, because that's where the money can go.
It's not a bad thing to say, but if the government sniff that it's a success, they want to tax it because they want their money, you know. And it's a compliment in a way.
Of course it is.
They want to tax it.
Definitely.
It shows that there's a profit to be made there.
Because of the information that now is coming out.
Yes, from medical cannabis and prescribed cannabis. Yeah, you find the right beat.
You said sweet spot. I think that's a very good.
Yeah,
good
definitely. And it's and I say that in the adverts. You know, you start small and see how it goes, and that's what you're supposed to do. You know, and you'll feel it. It just kind of works with you. And then you might think, I want a less of a THC percentage in it, and with a bit more of a CBD percentage. And we've got those cannabinoids within our body, so we're receptive to it.
No, in fact, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had cannabinoids. I thought I just had hemorrhoids.
I love that. Can we have that? Is that in?
You've had your careers, and it wasn't just a moment. Lock Stock wasn't just a moment you lot got stuck in. You've all gone on and done stuff after, and so I can ask you, like, where are you at now? What's happening now in life? Yeah.
I've managed to make the jump from being in front of the camera to behind the camera, which is, you know, it's the great thing about our industry, and I think Vass is an example of that, as Jason is, and as I am, is that that you can be in one lane for a long time, and then, you know, something can present itself, an opportunity, because life is about opportunities and taking them. You know, there's people talk about good luck and bad luck and all that sort of thing. I'm not sure I believe that. I think there's opportunities, and either you take them or you don't. And so I had an opportunity. I wrote a script. Someone said, a producer thought I was going to direct it, and I said, yeah, because I knew that was what would get it made. And here I am 15 years later and directing things. So, and I've got projects that I'm developing and working on and stuff like that, and that I'm not going to talk about now because that's the way it works, my side of it. I would, much I'd love to. But, and I know Jay's the same as well. You know, there's, like I say, our industry allows you to make big moves. You know, because you have that sort of North Star of like, I'll go and do some acting work. I can always get back. But it allows you to go, you know, there's other things I want to explore. And
when it comes to your directing, your movies, what genre are you most, what's the best genre?
I don't know, that's a difficult one to answer. I mean, one of my favourite directors is a guy called Alan Parker. And Alan Parker started with his career with Bugsy Malone, which I was in as a kid, which is a great children's film musical. And then he went and done a film called The Commitments, and then he done a film called Fame, and then he did a film called Angel Heart, and then he, you know, he did another film called Mississippi Burning, and you know, he's done like this incredible, all brilliant films, and they're all different, and the common denominator is him, and I kind of loved that kind of idea that, you know, especially coming from my background as an actor, where we get cast in many different roles and many different things with lots of wonderful people. That you go, I'm going to do a gangster movie, I'm going to do a western, I'm going to do a musical, I'm going to...
You know, watching Dex's career and being a great friend of Dex's, we speak, you know, several times a week, and he probably doesn't know this as well as I do, but observing Dex and observing the choices he's made as a director, obviously it's like acting. You know, you take the job that's in front of you if you need to, but with Dex's directing, he literally, it flips. It's like what the genre he wants to do is the exact opposite of the one he did last time. You know what I mean? It's
I try to do something
and it's clear that, and not to pigeonhole him, you know, he almost, obviously it's probably not a conscious decision, but he just goes to the exact opposite of what he's just done.
Like you're always testing yourself.
Yeah. And you know, and it's a great, like I say, it's about opportunities, you know. It's like I did this film called Wild Bill, which was set in London about a family, and you know, that was all. And I got offered a load of gangster movies to direct. You know, I was like, okay, well, I know that genre, I know that world. And then I got one that was a musical set in Scotland. I was like, I don't know if I've ever even been to Scotland. And
that's the one I should do.
I should do that one. Do you know what I mean? And then I've learned about Scotland and music and family. It's about families, and it's a universal story. But you know, and then that afforded me other opportunities. Would
you advise people to do that? Because sometimes we do things and it's okay for us, and it's what I want to do to get me out of my comfort zone. But I sometimes say, like, start as you mean to go on, because this journey was hard, this way, you know what I mean?
Sure. Look, it's really subjective, you know what I mean? It's like the individual. It's like, it's going to be about you finding where you can most excel at what you do and feel, because coming away happy from something, that again is subjective. It's like people go, I saw that film, it's fantastic. I go, yeah, I know I could do better. I want to do, you know, that's my personal feelings. So, but also if you're on that journey, you've got to find the right way to give yourself the foundations. And if the foundations mean I'm going to really explore this element of what I do well and get really good at that, I've been at it 60 years, you know what I mean? I'm very lucky, 50 years or whatever. So I can afford to go, I'm going to go and take some big swing at a musical because I've got this thing I can come back to.
Foundation, you built the foundations.
And that, you know, that's one of my advantages, one of my strengths that I've got to understand. It might not be the same. You've got to build to that. So for you, people starting out to go, right, if I got to get that solid, get that good, get that where I'm at, if that means I'm going to really explore this avenue for a while, then I'm going to do that. And then at some point, the opportunity will present itself and I can
commit to something first to get... learn that before you move on,
and feel really rooted in that, and then go, all right, now I'm going to take a right turn, a left turn.
What Dex said as well, sorry, Vas, what Dex said as well, which I think is really important to remember, is that there's good luck and bad luck, but does that exist, or is it about taking the opportunities that are put in front of you and maximising those opportunities? And I think what we all understand as actors, it's like you can have a plan. You can spend months and weeks, formulating a plan, but the fact is the opportunities that are put in front of you that you're not in control of, and about being free enough to maximise those opportunities. You know what I mean? You know, and you can have a plan about what you want to do, but the fact is what we do is not a hobby, it's how we earn our living. So you have to go out and earn a living. So there comes a point where you go, I'm going to do that because I need to pay the mortgage, or I do that because I need to feed my kids. And then within that, you have to keep your eyes open and keep your feet, you know, tip-tapping so you can see opportunities happening around you. And that's the truth.
If you could tell your lock stock, if you can go back then and tell Fletch, Jay, if that's in lock stock, something that would help you now, what would you tell them? Bit of information,
Blimey.
Time machine, DeLorean, you've gone back.
We were all, to be fair, unlike Statham and Vinnie, Vas and Dex and me were quite long in the tooth already by that point. You know, we were already 15 films in, most of it. So if I could tell myself anything from then, it would probably be, which I kind of took that advice, is just keep your head down and keep working, you know, keep your head down, keep working, because like you said about the viral thing, the high to the low is huge. But if you just stay true to the work and be honest and truthful with the people that you love and keep working, keep your head down, don't believe the hype, just enjoy the ride. But enjoy the ride.
I would have told myself to be in more scenes with Vas.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
More scenes with Roller Breaker.
That's so nice.
Or at least be there on the days when he was filming.
I
so I
agree.
could watch it.
That's so nice. That's so nice. Isn't that a nice thing to say? That's lovely.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the question. The question around that question.
What would you tell yourself from your lock stock days at that age that would help you now as a 60-year-old man?
Could be anything. Get involved in crypto.
Oh, if you're going to do that,
don't buy
great.
Apple shares,
I would say...
100 quid in crypto.
No, I would say, well, funnily enough, playing that character, like Cannabis. Cannabis as a business, commodities, get involved in cannabis, great business, and not smoking it like Zen hippie, sitting on falling off doing all of that business, but see how you can get involved in it, you know? There's just so many different ways, because that's what Rory did. He was in, and he had the boys doing it. Really, they were really good. They were really good. They're the posh boys doing it, and they knew the science. And he didn't even want to smell it, didn't want to see it, nothing. It's a good business. So, and here I am now.
Yeah. Amazing.
Medicinal.
Boys, I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave. Yeah, but you got your fake job you got.
Nice.
And that's it, peeps. This has been The Green Room, brought to you by MAMEDICA. Make sure you comment, like, and share.
This has been The Green... Should we do the voiceovers, all three of us,
Go on.
okay?
You do it.
This has been The Green Room, brought to you by MAMEDICA.
I can't beat that.
Come on,
good.
come on, Fletch.
You've done it before.
This has been The Green Room, brought to you by MAMEDICA.
God, you do your style then.
This has been The Green Room, brought to you by MAMEDICA.
Oh, it's fast.
Yo,
Yeah, it's bad.
yo, this has been The Green Room, innit? Brought to you by MAMEDICA. Seen?